Hello, I'm CJ Miller. I'm in downtown Shreveport. We're across the Red River from beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. And there is an art walk going on tonight. We do it about once a month. Uh, and the inside of all these buildings, their common areas are opened up for local artists to come in and display what they make, what they sell. I'm really into handcrafted and original work, hand designed, and yeah. And I'm also really into some of the LED lights uh, that we're starting to see more and more of. So, like this signage behind me that I wanted to show. This is the let me step across the street while I can. It's 700 Texas Street, and it's Cooper's Corners, or Cooper, not plural, singular, Cooper Corner. Now, I think this is not the first business I've seen called Cooper's Corner. There was one way over on, I want to say, on Kingston Road in Burt Coons. I think there was a place over there called Cooper's Corner, or it may have been Kenneth's Corner. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. But I think that was Kenneth's Corner. Oh, you're seeing it in the reverse here. But boy, I love the way these lights shine against the night sky and the twilight, actually, the dusk. But as it gets dark, it seems like the darker it gets, the brighter these signs get. The apostrophe there is it's a shamrock, a green shamrock or a clover. So that's kind of cool. Kind of gives a little feel to me of an old drugstore marquee or an old cinema marquee. There's a place in New Orleans on Camp Street. It's a theater, but it's closed down. But the front of it they light up, and they use, and it was used in the original movie version of Interview with the Vampire, and of course in a Kid Rock video, Only God Knows Why. So yeah, I think. Anyway, but this is cool. It kind of has that feel. I love it. It's great to see people doing things with these buildings that have been around and they're historic for our area. Not all of the buildings survived, you know. There's an area near the start of the Texas Street Bridge at the other end of this main way here. And I've crossed that bridge, so if you'll see it in my videos. And that vacant lot, it used to be home to like 3 or 4 different buildings, you know, squat buildings, you know, low rises, basically. And they did not survive due to, a lot of neglect and a combination of weather factors that accumulated over that. So we lost some of that architecture, but it's as much as I love new things, I love the marriage between old architecture in towns like this and new technology, like turning lofts into apartments that have smart technology and the newness, at least for us, of LED lights. You know, a long time ago, cities would light up with neon lights, and then they switched over and started doing LED technology in Dallas. A few hours away, the whole downtown area is lit, and it's beautiful. And so we were moving towards that direction, and then of course COVID, and that slowed down. It really stopped for a couple of years, progress. And so yeah, but as we get renewal and everything, a spirit of renewal, and also an economic renewal and an artistic renewal, because that's our downtown here. It's not necessarily, I want to say, unique, but for a town our size, which is a small city. Um, there is some uniqueness to it in the fact that uh, there is a rather large artistic community, and it's largely residential, but it's also largely business and largely civic. So I'm excited for all that. One of the things that I'm excited about is across from where I live, just a couple of blocks over, not directly across, they are redoing, it's on Travis Street, I want to think. Yeah. Oh, there was a dog. There was a dog. The man had a dog, and he was following me because, you know, I'm lovely. Pets love me and everything. Dogs love me. When I was a child, I loved cats. They were just cute and cuddly and lovable. And then as I got older, I developed more allergies. And so an indoor cat is something I really couldn't abide for myself. And so those allergies kicked my ass. But so I became a dog person. But I don't have a dog because I'm so... I'm a single person, and when you're single, it is hard to find someone to care for your pet. When, say, I want to go out of town this weekend for a retreat in the woods, it would be hard for me to. I'd either have to take the animal with me, which they don't allow animals in the cabins in the woods where I'm going, or I'd have to find someone to take care of it. And yeah, you know. Anyway, yeah. I'm having trouble locating the building from my line of sight, but let's see, what street is this? Yeah. Okay, so it's really just up here a little bit. I'll walk over and see if I can't do it. It's a building that used to be, I think, the U.S. government building. And then, of course, they built another government building on the other end of downtown. And if I'm correct on that identification. And so it stood empty for a very long time. And it's across the street from Government Plaza, which we're about to walk up on. Now, let's see if I'm correct on that. I may or may not be. No. I mean, kind of, sort of, but not really. It's really behind this. It's not the same building I was thinking of, but it's just a block over. Anyway. God. You know, I started roaming this downtown area quite freely when I was about 19 years old, just running all over the place. And boy, did things look different and feel different. Anyway, so maybe it's either going to be this building that's directly behind me and it's well lit and everything, or it's going to be that building. The tall one there, which is, I'm thinking that's the one it's going to be. I'll have to check. But either way, one of them is going to be the new state building. Now, the state building that we had today in Shreveport is located in the next neighborhood over. And it's not downtown. So, if you have civic business, such as, hey, I need to go here and look at maybe get a copy of this, and then you need to go get a copy of that, and a copy of that, your documentation and everything. If they're in different parts, if they're in different departments, some of it being state, and some of it being city, and some of it being federal, those types of things, if you do anything like that, then you're going to have a problem. Absolutely. I think that is going to be, I think it's going to be this one, because I see that they've already got some stuff out here and they're working on it. So that's cool. And they just did a groundbreaking on it. So I'm excited. So it's not actually, it's Fannin Street. Okay. But anyway, yeah, way back in the day, I was too young to get into the bars. Sometimes I would get into the bars anyway. But those of us who were adults, but we were too young to get in bars, we'd come and we'd hang out here and we'd meet up and we'd go to our parties and do whatever it is. But it was kind of like an unofficial kind of spot. This particular little strip, you know, and you would find anything and everything. And most people who are local, who have lived here, know that right down this particular dip here, it's called St. John's Bottoms back in the day. And the reason why is late 1800s, I think, whatever it is, they sort of designated a zone and said everything that you're doing, it is illegal. We're not decriminalizing it. But everything that's downtown, that's outside of this area, if you bring it to us, we're gonna penalize it a heck of a lot more. So if you just keep it in your own damn neighborhood, yes, you could still get caught, but we're not gonna like double up on the penalty. All that kind of stuff. So that's how red light districts came about. And ours was a response to a Storyville, which is a red light district, one of the first ones in New Orleans, Louisiana. A little bit of historic. Later on, that didn't last too long, maybe a couple of decades or I don't know. But anyway, eventually, we didn't have a red light district anymore, but the neighborhood was still known as the Bottoms. And people could still go there and find their fix, get their fix or whatever. Then, 2005, and we have a couple of really bad hurricanes in Louisiana, one right after another. A Cat 4 that hit, and then a Cat 3 that was almost a Category 4. And they were Cat 5s until, till they got close to the shore. So, I mean, they were pretty powerful. And I'm talking about within a week, I think, or within a week and a half or whatever. But yeah, it just, and I think everybody remembers that time because it was all over the news and everything, and really showed us a lot as a nation, as a state, and even as a city of New Orleans in areas in which we could do better. And consequently, to that time, response times have been better in those types of crises. But I was already living up here. But so anyway, the movie industry, from Louisiana, moved to North Louisiana from South Louisiana. For the next several years, there were movie contracts that needed to be fulfilled, and we were happy to do it, and TV shows and everything. So they cleared away the poor abandoned houses in this part of the Bottoms, basically, and built one of a few movie studios. And now it's still purposed as, I think right now it's being used as an animation studio. There's a lot of stuff going on there. I don't know what they're producing and everything like that. But yeah, you never can tell. But it's a sleepy little thing that gets produced there. And then every once in a while someone will come in. The rapper 50 Cent, I guess is how you say it, was going to buy it. The movie studio back there used to be Millennium Studios. As a matter of fact, the apartments that I now live in they were going to call them Millennium Apartments. And I'm so glad they changed it because, oh my God, the Millennium was so like, a quarter of a century ago. Anyway, so yeah, so, when something new is no longer new, not that it didn't have value, but you got to come up with a new motif, darling. Like Art Deco cannot remain forever. Okay, so anyway, Bayou Grand. Back to Louisiana. Well, there is a bayou back there. Bayou Grand. I'm sure that doesn't have anything to do with an actual bayou. I'm sure they just called it that because Louisiana, we call a lot of our streams and little rivers bayous, which are channels, basically, is what they really are. Bayous are more like channels of water that interconnect and lead into the river, like pretty much every stream or whatever. But anyway, a lot of ours we've actually turned into sewerage irrigation and stuff like that. So. But you see behind me, you can see the building that they're going to be working on and turning into the federal building. I mean, the state building for state business. I'm excited for that. I think anything that brings people downtown is going to enhance downtown. There'll be at least 400 employees in and around the building when it's completed. And I think if you work downtown, that means you take your lunches downtown, right? Maybe you do a little bit of shopping downtown, that kind of stuff. Anything that I think that can add to the downtown of my home city, I'm for it, And the convenience of getting your civic business being able to be done within a few blocks of each other instead of, a few miles of each other. I've been to, like, New Orleans. Going there and trying to do something, you do, and it's like, it's one thing, you have to go to Canal Street, do a Social Security, then you have to go to Metairie to get ID and everything like that, and it's, then you have to go all over the place because their things are spread out throughout their metro area. Sometimes not even in the same parish, so weird. So things like that really are simple to do when things are more closely related. So, oh yeah, I'm gonna post this video, and then I'll come back and I'll talk about some of the acquisitions I made on the Artwalk.